Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers and we're here to broadcast the round 4 of the Formula Renault Australian Championship live from Monza. And without further ado, I guess you could say, I'll hand you over to our commentary team, Brenton O'Brien and Luke Emerton.
Yes, good evening Bernie, good evening Brenton. Welcome to the fabulous Monza circuit. We're in for a great race tonight, and it's good to have Brenton on board, taking some time out to help us out here in the RRTV commentary box. How are you tonight, Brenton?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thanks for having us on board. It's going to be a really interesting race, and it's such a big field of these Formula Renaults, and the FRAC Championship just grows from strength to strength every week, and looking forward to seeing what 18 laps can do for us this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And these cars will be well suited around this track, well known throughout the F1 community as well, and always some good racing to be had around here, whether you be in an open wheel or a V8 supercar. And we'll just quickly run through the grid as we don't have a lot of time. With so many cars, I think we'll just do the top 20 for now, and by the time we do that, I think we'll almost be ready for racing. So we've got Ben Dowell, who's qualified in first with a 1:49.6. Benjamin Smith with a just behind him in second. Jared Filzel in third, Gary Hamilton in fourth, Kane Kugamira in fifth, Danny Davidson is in sixth, Joshua Anderson is in seventh, Joshua Skin is in eighth, Michael McCabe in ninth, and Adam Newton rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, and it's such a big field, isn't it? And a competitive field, and there's some good names in here as well. And from what we've seen in the first 3 races, been extremely competitive. Our series leader, Michael McCabe, down in 9th position, but it's one of those tracks, isn't it, where pretty tough to be the hare and the tortoise here. It's with the draft being so strong, it's not that easy to be able to get rid of that car behind you, and it's pretty easy to sit behind a faster car and make up some considerable time.
Yeah, and with a lot of the qualifying times here, with the boys working really hard, like a lot of the top 20 really separated by under a second. So definitely we've seen a lot of close racing and some big pack racing as well along the last few weeks with a lot of these higher speed circuits. So be interesting to see. I know the boys have been a bit happier with the setups over the last few weeks, and I'm sure the boys working on those setups at the moment for this setup, fixed setup series have done a good job again, and hopefully the boys will give us some nice close racing.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Pit stop obviously going to be needed, and so some tactics come into there. I can't see, they won't take tyres, I wouldn't think, so really the pit stop's more of a tactical thing. You don't want to be caught up in slower traffic. I would expect the greater majority of these guys will probably hang on till late before they make their pit stops.
Yeah, and just quickly, we've got 30 seconds before these guys start to grid up. We'll just go through the weather today. Beautiful day for racing. It's partly cloudy with a 26 degree temperature. Air temp, track temp is about 42 degrees. The winds are from the north with 3 kilometres an hour, and we're in for 18 laps of close racing action, I would say, around here. And as you say, those pit stops will come into play as well, which will be very interesting to see with strategy coming into it as well.
Yeah, they will, and with the grid as it is, there's some tight times there, isn't it? I know a few of the guys made some mistakes, and it's not one of those tracks, especially in qualifying, if you make that little bit of an error, you can drop a tenth or two. And have a look at those times in qualifying, just so close throughout the field, and that again just points out to what a great race that we've got in front of us.
Yeah, definitely right, and that's the end of practice, Brenton, and we're into the boys gridding up now, so they don't have too long, and we'll be underway and be able to call this race. It should be excellent, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to just to clarify those grid positions. 9th, Michael McCabe, our series leader, with a 1:50.120. 10th, Adam Newton, 1:50.120. Troy Burgess, 11th, 1:50.120. So 3 times identical there. So that just proves what kind of field we've got here. It is going to be super competitive all the way through. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, the last couple of cars now just lining up. And just quickly, Brenton, any picks for tonight? I know I did a bit of a sneaky last week and got a sneaky pick in with only about 2 laps to go, so I might ask you early, but...
Well, it's just such a strong field. Ben Dow, what a magnificent job in qualifying that was, but we're away for round 4 action, and I'll get that pick in later on, but over to you, mate.
No worries, mate. And there's a big group of cars going down to this turn one that all the boys got to be very careful down here. There's just such a big pack of cars. I'm sure we're going to see one or two go off here. But the first half of the field looked like they got through pretty well. They're all behaving themselves, Brenton.
Yeah, I think actually I'm just going through the whole field and they're all behaving themselves. That's fantastic to see. And that's exactly what I want. Look, it's still such a large field. Still the back of the field have not come through the first chicane. They have now. So magnificent field. It really is. What have we got? About 50 cars. We do have 50 cars, in fact, as they wind themselves around lap number one.
Yeah, coming down now into the first of our bus stop chicanes here, and there's a few cars going left, right, and lots of positions to be lost if you have a bit of an off here. And boys are doing well not to get too much contact through here, but as we've seen the last few weeks, these cars are quite strong and can handle a bit of a wheel touch here and there.
I'll tell you what's already happened here. The top three have already split from the rest of the pack. You've got our leader, Ben Dow. We know how fast he is. Pole position man, Jared Fieldstall, starting third in the grid, racing for ANZ, and Ben Smith following behind them. So those first three already have created that little bit of a gap to Gary Hamilton, who's going to be leading a very hard chasing pack here. But already those top three cars, I reckon they'll be out of that draft. So if the first three guys can work together here, not think about getting too involved with any battles, there's a great chance that these three guys can split from the field.
Yeah, and back in the mid-pack now, we got Mitchell Bennett in the 05 car. He's having a great run here in a bit of draft. They're going almost three wide down into the carousel down here, and looks like they'll easily be able to run two wide around there, but I wouldn't want to be hanging out in those marbles later on in this race, as might find themselves in a bit of trouble. But this is going to be interesting now, as a few cars look like they're opting to take a really early pit stop, and that's a very fast entry coming into there. They've got to be careful not to run up each other's bums.
Yeah, and we've just had a double lead change, or have we? No, we haven't, because Ben Dow's just cooked it a bit too much into that first chicane there. He'd probably get a shortcut as well. So we were talking about those top three not battling. Jared Fieldstall made a clean move on that front straight there. Got the job done past Ben Dow, who was immediately be able to get back into that slipstream and just outbraked himself into turns one, causing a big loss of time there. So Ben Smith being promoted too. We've got three wide action behind us, so with Danny Davison, Kane Kukamia, and Kane gone. Kane has, I think Kane's driven, I'll call it as I see it, I reckon Kane's driven into the back of Davison there.
Yeah, it did look like a bit of contact there. Just as he went to turn in, he's tapped the rear of that car, and we've got leaders now going past a lap car. It's going quite slow there. He might have actually got a slow down. Didn't see who that was, but yeah, the leaders now, that's given him a bit of a gap. Ooh. And there's some real drafting going on here as well.
Yeah, Ben Dow's definitely had an issue there, hasn't he? And this is a guy who was on pole position, led the end of the first lap, and he's had the back right out of this, and he's gone all the way. He's outside of the top 20 now, so big issues there for our pole man, the car 137, Ben Dow.
Yeah, and as predicted, a small mistake can cost you a lot of positions at the moment with this amount of cars this close together around quite a fast circuit. And the boys just at the front of our top 10 now, just starting to spread out a little bit. A couple of two-car battles here and there, but mostly behaving themselves up front.
Well, right now, Jared Fieldstall, after that little mistake there by our pole position man, so just having a look at something here. So Ben Dow made that mistake, and Ben Smith had to get out of their way. They had to back right off. So what that's done is Jared Fieldstall's been able to stretch out. He's got a 1 second lead now. I don't think that's fast enough or a big enough gap to get out of that draft. So keep your eye out for the car 999 and the car 151. These guys have already got themselves a 4 second gap back to Danny Davison in third place. Make sure you keep an eye out for Riley Preston as well. He has started from 15th position, already worked his way up to 8th. Expect big things from him.
Yeah, and we've just had a massive incident coming into the pit lane there. Brenton, there's about 5 or 6 cars that decided to all come in at once, and there was people doing 360s and everything. Michael Hammond in the 0112 was one of those, unfortunate. I think these guys get one fast repair, but that was ridiculous. There was about 6 or 7 cars just absolutely nose to tail into each other into the pit lane on that last lap.
And Ben Dow's really had a frustrating start, hasn't he? He's only just coming out of the pits now, so not only did he make that mistake that cost him so badly at turn 1 on a lap 2, but he's also looked like his pit stop was fairly lengthy as well, and he's dropped pretty much all the way down to the tail of the field. So some big dramas there for Ben Dow.
Yeah, and Riley Preston there, just our cameraman's just caught him having a bit of an off track. He was in 8th, but I think he's had about 5 or 6 cars just go past it. There's a big contact there.
Scotty Newton as well. Oh, there's a car on its roof. Wow, Troy Burgess has had some dramas. I think that's Josh Burden as well. So that's Adascari there. Burden has put it on its lid, but he's got it back on. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Josh Burden. I do apologise. Just trying to catch up with who. Anthony Winkleman, I think it is. So, yeah, some dramas there, but, well, it's a bit messy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all happening a couple of laps in Brenton, and a few of the drivers have started to lose a bit of concentration, and, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a couple more cars now coming into the pits and trying to get that mandatory pit stop out of the way.
Yeah, Angry Birds Racing, Anthony Kirch is in the pits, I noticed at the moment. It's got a pretty clear pit lane, and like you called, Riley Preston from 8th did make that mistake, and that's cost him badly. Down to 22nd at the moment, he's gone 3 wide. Not sure he's going to get that to stick. No, he's backed right out of that. Probably a smart thing to do there. But this is some great driving in front of us, and again, there's a bit of a hiccup there. Ben Conroy and Brett Hender just had a bit of a wheel-to-wheel action there, and they've lost so much drive out at corner. Riley's already wrapped up Conroy there, and he's going to be pretty close to wrapping up. There's another car up in the background too, sorry. There's just so much action happening at once. I think that's Tim Harris. Yes, it is. But Tim's already a lap down, so probably just doing the right thing and getting out of the way. Car 48.
And Brett Hender's just gone off into the fence in front of that group we were just watching before, Brent, and he's gone off at the turns 4 and 5 there, the first of the bus stops, and just looked like he lost it a bit himself there. That was that group of 5 cars we were watching, and yeah, he's had a bit of an off, and might have kept it out of the fence. He's got a bit of a damaged rear wing, but yeah, it seems like now we're seeing groups of at least 3 to 5 cars.
Gee whiz. He's just come right out. Ender just came right out in front of the field there. And some very, very good slick avoiding action there by Anthony Kearns. I think it was Mitch Searlack in the other car. So, yeah, well done. And we just heard that Kane Kugelmeyer has got a drive-through penalty from that early incident, which is probably fair enough, to be honest with you. You know, certainly nothing intentional at all, and no one would say that it is. But, yeah, worthy of a drive-through.
Yeah, and we have live race control tonight, which we're seeing more and more often in these hosted series, Brenton, and it seems to work pretty well. A lot of the drivers seem to obey it and do the right things, and it's always good as a driver, as you know yourself, knowing that there's a big brother out there just keeping an eye on everything and keeps a bit more people in line here, as we've got Ryan Harris going 3 wide into the first corner here, looking to make a move, make up 2 positions.
Yeah, there's just so much action happening in there, and there's so many cars that are in this race. 50 starters. This is just one of 2 splits. Don't forget there's another split with the same amount of starters, so just proves that the ever-growing popularity of the Formula Renaults continues from week to week. Out in front, though, things certainly have settled down for our 2 leaders here. Certainly no movement from Ben Smith in the ERA car, with Jared Filsel in leading in the ANZ car. If anything, these 2 have stretched out, however, over Gary Hamilton, who's now in 3rd place, 5.3 seconds off the lead, and that little cluster there with Davison and Joshua Skin, who's improved from 8th up into 5th position, but albeit just over 6 seconds behind.
Yeah, and Jared now just trying to get that draft broken as he comes down into the Parabolica and back onto the main straight. He's just coming down. And yeah, it's going to be quite hard to break that draft, as you said before, Brenton, with these cars being so equal and not a lot of aero punch for the car in front. So yeah, the car behind's definitely got advantage with such a long run onto the first corner as well.
Yeah, they reckon they need about 1.3 seconds to break that draft. Jared got it out to 1 second. The elastic was almost broken, wasn't it? But now you can see the obvious difference. We're already on lap 6, so we're a third of the way through the race of 18. Ben Smith looking very, very comfortable there. Yeah,
it seems like it looks like they're not going to make that draft up, but then all of a sudden that top end, with about 300 to 400 metres, and then all of a sudden they're right on the gearbox of the car in front here, as he's going to stick right with him. We'll just keep this action for a minute coming into the first chicane, and might look to have a move down here, but thinks better of it, just sticks in behind. He might have a go further on, maybe onto the back straight there, leading back onto the Parabolica as well.
To be honest, I don't think he needs to. Both of these guys, really, really good racecraft. Both these guys, very, very good and quick fair drivers, and they'll know where they're at now. These two work together and this race is over. They'll wait till the last couple of laps before they need to really get in amongst it. If they start battling away, you can see Gary Hamilton has pulled a bit of a gap on Danny Davison and Josh Skin behind, but he's kind of like in the middle of nowhere there. His last lap was a 1 minute 50.091, 2/10 of a second down on Ben Smith, but good 6/10 of a second up on Jared Fieldstall. So Jared lost a bit of time there on the last lap. But these two work together. They'll be right, you would think, getting themselves to the finish. In which position, don't know whether it's first or second. But behind them, I saw a really good battle. Here it is here between the car 267 and the car 70, Riley Blythe and Darren Marsh. This has been an ongoing battle for the last few laps, and this is a battle for 8th to 9th.
Yeah, these guys looking to secure their place firmly inside that top 10 early on in this race, and some good two-wide action earlier on in the lap, and still looking for it now. So if he just stays with him here, Darren's got a bit of a bad run out of there, but the draft should help him out a lot. He took a really interesting line through there, you could say an alternate line if you will, but definitely this draft, and he's going to have to stick the nose out here for sure into one.
Yeah, that's just so easy, isn't it? And there wasn't a lot of work needed to be done there. Obviously these cars don't have access to DRS, but that draft is just such a significant difference. So Riley Bright down one spot, Darren Marsh up a spot. This battle won't end at all. These guys will be going all the way to the finish, I'm sure. They've got John Allett behind them, a 1 minute 50.7. So gains were made by Allett that last lap, almost 2 seconds in fact. So expect there to be a third wheel here shortly. Yeah, Justin Strickland probably a bit far away from these at the moment.
Yeah, he just has another look at it now into the chicane, and this is back and forth again, but he's found himself on the outside and a couple of wheels in the dirt, but he's still going to get that move done around the outside there. It was a great move. Just had the inside line for the first corner, but then you find yourself on the outside on the switchback, but he's just put the head down and put the foot down as well, and kept that position around the outside there.
Yeah, that's a hell of a move by Riley Bryce. Just joined Evolution Racing Australia from Tim Ballinger's team, so great to have him on board that team, no doubt. But they're not going anywhere, these guys. They're going to be John Allett will certainly be all over them shortly, and John Allett has had a fantastic start this race. From 21st on the grid, he's moved him up to 10th. But let's have a look at the shout out here. Ryan Harris from 43rd on the grid has got himself up to 12th, and Sam Katakunzinos from 50th on the grid is up into 17th place.
Yeah, that's an amazing drive there with such a big field, and to be able to somehow navigate all these cars without getting yourself caught up into a battle. And you see Darren Marsh now just going back to that group there, and he's starting to get a bit of a lead, and the car behind there, John Allett, has moved up into as well. That group's just starting to sort itself out now, and some good racing there, and as you predicted before, the car behind has caught those two and managed to make a move into the first corner here.
Yeah, well, with that draft, it's like we said, it's just so much easier. We actually lost Riley Preston. I saw that he was in the pits as well, so an early shower for Riley Preston, unfortunately. But we're getting to the stage now where pit stops, when are they going to be thinking about pit stops, these leaders? There's so many cars who've already made their stops. You don't want to be getting caught in traffic. Our leaders are starting to get onto the back of some, from what I understand. Let's have a look to be sure. No, they look like they've got a pretty clear track still at the moment. They've probably got Brett Hender as maybe half an issue in front, but that's not going to be too much away. These guys are under the old bridge coming up to Ascari, so we're on lap 8 now. I'll be thinking maybe another 2 laps and I'll be certainly thinking about pitting, but these guys are really, really driving away from the rest of the field. Jared does look very comfortable through Ascari, doesn't he? I'm not sure whether Ben's struggling to hang on there, but certainly Jared has led this race pretty much from the get-go, made that clean overtaking move on the start of lap 2 and has held it ever since. Oh, dodgy there into the last turn there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a moment he's had there. Looked like he might have pinched it front right, and he's dove into the pits now.
Okay, well this is going to be the interesting part here as to where he comes out. Now, it's going to be a short pit stop. Think about, was it 8 litres I think I heard that they need. Behind them, a lot of other cars are coming into the pits as well. So that was a really, really late move by Jared Fieldstone. And the thing that is now is that Ben Smith's out there on his own, so he's not going to be draft assisted at all. What's going to be interesting is where Jared Fieldstone comes out. So just I'm still on board with the car 999. It is a short stop, knew that it would be. Don't think any tyres need to be taken. Doing a really, really pedestrian slow 60 k's an hour. Comes out just behind a little group here. Not sure that's going to be too much of a hindrance straight away. Let's not forget there won't be any blue flags. So he's just behind Chris Henderson and Ryan Harris. We talked about Ryan Harris as our his major gains from 43rd up into 13th. Well, he's just had a pit stop. So let's just see what Jared Fieldstone can do here in regards to. Tell you what, he's actually in a pretty good position, isn't he? He should get on the back of these two, get in the draft, and be, by the time these guys pit, be up and away.
Yeah, and that's going to help him too, because as you said before, he's you got Josh out there by himself, and he's got no draft assistance at all, and he's going to find it quite hard to make up that time if Jared can maintain this draft through the middle of the pack here, where, as you say, he's picked a pretty good spot to come out. The cars in front of him aren't going to hold him up too much as long as they don't start battling, and he's already caught up to him though, Brenton, so this is going to be very interesting.
Well, let's just see if they hold him up through Ascari here and then down the back straight up into Parabolica. But no, still, as I said, they don't have to give way to him. And so they go through Ascari. Doesn't look like he's been held up there a lot. Obviously going to lose a bit of downforce with the draft in front. But this is right now where he's going to make his gains. The car in front of Ryan Harris, also in the draft of Chris Henderson. So still no positive move there, but that car is getting faster and faster. And don't be surprised, I haven't seen it yet, whether Ben Smith comes in the pits. But through Parabolica, again, Fieldstone hasn't been able to get through, but wouldn't be surprised if he washes both of these guys away, both in one hit. I think we do have Ben Smith coming out of the pits. Yes, we do. So that pedestrian 60Ks gets out of the pits now. Let's just see where he comes out in comparison with Jared Fields. He might come out. It's going to be status quo, I think.
Side by side.
Yeah, I think it's going to be status quo here. Yeah, it is. But still, certainly a gain made by Smith. Positions have stayed the same, but Smith certainly has made probably half a second, no, probably not even 2/10 gain.
Yeah, my apologies before. I called him Josh for some reason. I have no idea why, but that was Ben that I was referring to before, obviously, when he was when Fizzle pitted. So yeah, this battle's back on now, and now that the positions have been cleansed after their pit stops, it's on till the checkered flag, and we're already 10 laps in of this 18 laps race.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, the trading paints hasn't been working to get these skins through, or not. A bit frustrating, but it's certainly a good show that our two leaders are putting on here at the moment. The Jared Fielster, who we know...
Sorry to jump in, guys. Danny Davison has just pulled over, and he's out of the car.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing for Davison, isn't it? It's a strong performance, actually, in the top four. So, yeah, no doubt he'll be disappointed for that.
Yeah, and that's a real shame. And now that the pit stops have been done, Brenton, I'll just run through the top 10 for our viewers watching at home, and just to give an update since we're just over half race distance. So leading away, we've got Benjamin Smith and Danny Davison right on his gearbox, as we can see at the moment. Gary Hamilton in third, Darren Marsh in fourth. Jared Fizzle showing him fifth, but obviously he's back up the front there. Justin Strickland in sixth, Riley Brisbane seventh, Ryan Harris in eighth, Chris Henderson in ninth, and Joshua Anderson is rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, but that's all about to change as these guys go across the start-finish line on the end of lap 10, start 11. We're going to have a lead change here. Ben Smith certainly has got that significant draft. It's not real hard work, is it? And makes that move. Takes the lead now. So first and second has changed over. Looking behind those, we've got Josh Anderson and Gary Hamilton. These guys are probably, they're not going to make up 5 seconds, I wouldn't think. They're going to need to really rely on the first two, tripping over each other and getting heavily involved. 5 seconds to make up in 7 laps. I can't see them doing that.
No, that's right, and it's interesting to see here behind Josh we've got Gary Hamilton, and he's been running really strong the last few weeks with his one of his teammates, and I don't see his teammate around. They normally can't separate him for the last few weeks, so Gary's having to do a lot of the work up here by himself without a rear gunner, but he's doing quite a good job. He's always consistently in the top 5 to top 10. So yeah, it's good to see him out there again and doing another great drive. As I can just see his teammate a couple of positions behind there actually, which is Adam Newton in the car 222. So Adam doing a good job as well.
Yeah, I think Adam had some early dramas lap 1 at the exit of the first Lesmo, which probably dropped him back through the field, and also Michael McCabe, our series leader in the car 88, pretty much a salvage job tonight, I think. 9th on the grid and 7th position at the moment, driving a pretty lonely race. I think he'd be happy with that result.
Yeah, that's right. And as we've seen over the seasons, in a consistent finishing can lead to championships. You don't always have to be first, as we say, but it's more the consistency and making sure you bank some sort of points throughout each race, so that when you do have a bit of a bad round, you're still kind of getting some sort of compensation for it, and in the end that can make the difference between winning a championship and coming runners up.
Yeah, that's right. Like you said, you don't have to win every race. Keke Rosberg, 1982 Formula 1 World Champion. How many races did he win for that season? 1. Still the World Champion. So that's what it's all about, getting your car to finish in the best possible finish week in, week out, and get those points to build up. Might be before your time, mate, sorry.
That's right, I just tuned out for a minute. I'm just trying to work out why my iRacing is not telling me that your ERA mate is not in second position behind Vizel for some reason.
Oh no, he definitely is 0.3 of a second behind, and certainly right there. And what we might do, actually, as they go down this long back straight, it's that little left kink in it, we know, but as they come up to Ascari, these two, what we might do is actually jump on board with the ERA car of Ben Smith and just show you how significant that this draft is. They're just going through Ascari now. We're not going to need to stick with them for the whole lap. This is the car 151. In front of us, we've got the ANZ driver Jared Filsill in the car 999. Ben Smith easily in the draft here. You'll be able to see here as they enter the Parabolica and on the drive out what significant ground can be made, and possibly a lead change right now as they exit Parabolica. Geez, Jared gets a good drive out of there, but let's stay on board here for Ben Smith.
Yeah, we'll give our viewers a full lap, I reckon. Why not? This will be interesting, and see this battle firsthand.
Smith's actually backed out of that. He has dropped those revs, absolutely. So that is extremely interesting. You can hear the engine tone drop dramatically there. I've got no doubt whatsoever that Smith's actually saving himself here. Lap 13. Yeah, I don't know if I'm always a big fan of that idea. I know some cars get caught out with that expectation that on the last lap they should be right using the draft, and they'll find that the car in front also happens to get the draft of a lap car. So I've no doubt that Smith backed out of that.
Yeah, I tell you what, I reckon the only thing he's worried about, Brenton, is the fact that obviously the draft is so strong. If he goes like one lap too early and you don't time it right, then Jared will be able to get round him on the next lap. You know what I mean, for the next for the checkered flag. So I think he's going to wait and he's going to try and make his move, but he's got to be careful here. He's just dropped off the back of Jared a bit, and he's got to make sure he can stay in that draft as Jared drops a wheel really wide off there.
Okay, Luke, you're driving for All Motorsports. You're in second place at the moment. You've got Jared Filsill in front of you. You're on lap 13 of lap 18. When does Luke Edmonton go?
If it was me, I think I'd be trying to just get out in front and keep the pressure on him. I wouldn't be worrying too much about the draft, as I know even if I go past him early and then he goes past me again, it's just going to seesaw. But you still got to keep the pressure on him. If you back off, he sees you back off, he's going to try and push, and then you'll end up losing the draft. So I think there I wouldn't have backed off. I would have just had him down the inside and made the move like we've seen before, and then just try and just maintain the pressure on him, you know what I mean, and just drive my race. Don't worry about strategy as such with that kind of
right, so let's listen to the tone of the car here. The Formula Renault 2 leader backs out. Absolutely backing out. So that was a lap of Monza aboard the 151, the MPMS Racing Simulators car there of Ben Smith, and he's faster through Ascari, but I don't think he's as fast through the Lesmos 1 and 2. I think Jared has got Ben covered there, but through Ascari, I've got no doubt Smith's the faster of the two.
Yeah, I tell you what, as I said, like, he's keeping the pressure on him here, but I don't know. I think you just want to make the move done and then try and drive away instead of just sticking on his gearbox, because you never know what could happen. Jared could have a bit of a moment and he runs up the back of him, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of risk you're running there, going back to 3/4 throttle and just following him down the main straight.
Now I've seen just behind Josh Anderson's now running solo. Beforehand had Hamilton with him, but Anderson solo, Adam Newton up into 4th, Josh Skin to 5th. So Gary Hamilton's made a mistake somewhere which we haven't been able to catch, down in the 6th position, just in front of Michael McCabe, who's now up into 7th position and not far off the back wing of Gary Hamilton. So interesting battle is going to be happening here for sure, and I've got a feeling these guys are both very, very high up in the championship. McCabe, we know, is in front. I'm thinking that Hamilton's actually second, so yeah, a little psychological battle here could be one as well.
Yeah, definitely something's going on there.
We just had the replay, folks. He spun at Ascari. That was Gary Hamilton spinning at Ascari.
Yeah, well, that little mistake there, yeah, it's the type of thing that can cost you big time later on in the championship, can't it? So, you know, we know he's quick enough, and he's certainly going to make that chance there, but not sure he's going to get onto the back of Josh Skin. A 50.3 last lap for Josh Skin, 50.7 for Gary Hamilton last lap.
Yeah, I guess the big winner out of that was Josh Anderson, moving up a few places into 3rd position for All Star Motorsports, and he's had a few good results as well. Had a 2nd. He should have won the other week and kind of threw it away at the end. He was a bit disappointed with himself, but he's been doing a great job for the team as well up there, and he'll be hoping that Jared and Benjamin here maybe have a bit of a not a getting together, but just slow each other up with this battling. But I don't see it happening. These guys seem to just be using the draft to overtake, and that's about it. They're not doing anything too silly up there. So yeah, I think he's going to be hard struck catching these guys unless they make some sort of big mistake.
It's like a breakaway in the peloton, isn't it? And these two have certainly broken away, and you know, they're working well together. They've actually, on this lap 15, actually had a couple of lead changes already, so probably starting to get a little bit frisky. I've got no doubt though that Jared Fieldsteel is better on the exit of the 2nd chicane leading into the Lesmos, but I've also got no doubt that Ben Smith makes up all of that ground back again through Ascari and is relying on it as Ben Conroy gets a drive through in the car 169 as well. But no doubt here, like I said, and we've discussed it before, that Smith is not fully on it just yet, but he's only just hanging on to that draft.
Yeah, and he's run out of laps now too, Brendan, with only 3 to go this time by, and he's definitely going to have to think about making that move soon. I'm sure his race engineer will be on the wall pulling his hair out, wondering why he hasn't tried to overtake him yet, but I'm sure he's got something worked out in his mind, but we'll have to wait and see in the next couple of laps what he decides to do. Maybe he might even try and make it at the Parabolica turn and leave it to the last corner of the last lap, but he'd be hard pressed to try and pull that off, because Jared seems quite strong, as you say, getting out of those corners. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
And we've also had Justin Strickland has had a bit of an issue as well, unfortunately, and where's that on the entry to Parabolica? Who's that? Is actually Guy Leach has just tapped him from behind, just a light tap, just enough to put Strickland off. Guy Leach, I think he's trying to do the right thing there to make sure that he immediately readdresses that position there. Simon Fiegel is a benefactor there. So yeah, Leach has made that little bit of a driving error, but straight away good sportsmanship shown there in Justin Strickland, able to get back into it, only dropping that one position to Simon Fiegel.
Yeah, and just looking further back, our battle for the last position in the top 10, there's Darren Marsh in 10th, and he's under real pressure from Sam Sutton. I know we've been following these leaders for a lot of laps, and there's a couple other little battles that my cameraman has picked up now. So that's Sam Sutton in the 00 car, and he's under all sorts of pressure coming to Ascari now.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure as well, and again Sam Sutton does a lot of V8 driving, seems to be spreading his wings into the GT3s as well of late in the TTL car. Not sure his progress here in the Formula Renault so far, but certainly has got himself in a decent little position here. This is a battle for 9th and 10th with Darren Marsh just in front of him. Marsh very, very handy in the Formula Renault, and it's great to see the V8 drivers, getting involved with other series as they go into Ascari here. And Sutton does a very clean move, very, very stock standard bread and butter move, that one. And Jink gets that good drive out of Ascari too, but I don't think Darren Marsh is going to go anywhere. He'll put himself in a position where he can make gains as well. So lap 17. And we'll go back up to the front if that's alright there, Bernie, because it's really heating up. We've got less than a lap and a half to go of these two leaders who have been with each other the entire race so far without incident.
That was a huge moment for Fizzle. They come around the curve to Lesmo and both followed each other off pretty much and had all four wheels in the kitty litter then. And yeah, it looks like he might be looking for a move now. He's showing his nose.
Yeah, I expect Smith to be able to make the move at some stage here to get the lead, but expect Fuelsel to be able to fight back straight away. Ben Conroy, in the meantime, has been disqualified. Doesn't look like he was able to do his pit lane penalty from an earlier incident.
Yeah, we did hear race control, as you mentioned before, Bernie. I think he gave him one lap to go before he could complete it, and obviously some reason he didn't take that stop, so yeah, unfortunately you get 3 laps, and if you don't complete you get disqualified. So Benjamin now looking big run on Filzel. Filzel blocks the inside using all the track right over the solid line on the inside, and he's gone around the outside here. That's probably where you want to go because it gives you the inside line for that left-hander, Brendan.
These two are the best handlers, or two of the amongst the best handlers in the Australian iRacing community. This is going to be a fantastic last lap. I reckon Jared's going to get a better drive out of here. Very, very tight action around the Curva Grande, and Jared Filson, I think, will get this to stick. Smith's still got that front wing in a decent position. I reckon he's going to have to drop off it. Oh, not too sure.
He's going to need more of an overlap than that, but he's got side by side now coming into a 100-metre braking zone. They're going to leave that as late as they can as they go side by side over the curb, and they both take a bit of curb there, and Fizzell gives him enough room. He's very gentleman-like there. He could have run him out of track, but if you just look in the background there, you've got Josh catching up as well. Yeah,
he'll be licking his chops right about now, and Smith's going to make a second move into second Lesmo here, and he's going to lose so much drive out of that corner. Jared Filson's got his chance to have a bit of a gap here, and Josh Anderson has got the best drive out of the 3 of them. So expect Josh Anderson still right involved with this. I'm not sure whether Ben Smith's going to be able to get to Jared Filsel. Let's see what he can do through Ascari. He's been quicker through there the entire race, but I don't think he's close enough on this occasion.
I'll tell you what, this is going to come in the last corner here. I can see it. They're going to go 3 wide across the line down here, and this draft is going to come into play down this back straight. They're all going to close up, hopefully, and this is going to be one of the best finishes we've seen so far, Brenton.
Yeah, I'm going to say Filsel's going to hang on here, because that little bit of a, wasn't so much an error, just he made that move at the second Lesmo. Yeah, Jared Filsel, he will be the winner of round 4 of the Formula Renault Australian Championship. Congratulations to him. Jeez, it was close at the end with Josh Anderson at the back there. So the cap Filsel to Ben Smith to Anderson, 1 second.
I'll tell you what, can we give him one more lap, Brenton? I want to see that. That needs one more lap for sure. That would have been excellent, but that was a good finish overall. But yeah, we definitely need one more lap there. It's that was excellent. Yeah,
it was a short little race, wasn't it? But gee, the action was long, and like I said, those two guys are amongst the best handlers in the Australian iRacing community, and I'll stick by that. And wow, what a fantastic result.
Yeah, so we'll just cap off the final results here for round 4 from Monza. And your winner for this evening, Jared Filzel, as we saw in that battle right near the end, followed by Benjamin Smith, only 0.4 behind for the ERA18 there, and then Josh Anderson for All Star Motorsports in 3rd. Adam Newton came in 4th, great drive again from Adam, another consistent finish. Joshua Skin in 5th, Gary Hamilton was in 6th, Michael McCabe in 7th, Matthew Trotman was in 8th, Sam Sutton in 9th, and rounding out our top 10 was Darren Marsh.
Yeah, action right from the start, wasn't there, with some early incidents, has to be said. That's a field of 50 cars, all identical, running the same setup, the fixed setup series, and wow, some massive drama there early on. Ben Dow, our pole man, was convincingly on pole position too. Made so many mistakes early on, unfortunately for him, and dropped out of the race, unfortunately nice and early, but wow, we still had, what do we have, 42 finishes.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's not a bad average, Brenton, with that many cars, as you say, that close together with the same setup, and to only have a couple of cars miss out there on finishing, that's a good result. All the boys seemed pretty well behaved, and we didn't see too many incidents, except for that about 5 or 6 laps in, they started to lose a bit of concentration for a couple of laps, but then they settled down and gave us some great racing near the end there.
Yeah, it was. And just looking at some of the guys who improved, Matthew Trotman from 20th on the grid up into 8th, it's certainly noticeable. John Allett from 21st to 11th. Josh Burden 36th to 19th. That's a pretty good effort. That Jamie Greenwood from 44th to 25th, and Jay Namoyle from 49th up into 26th position. So yeah, really good job there.
Yeah, and pit strategy worked out well for a few of the boys there, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of them as we see Benjamin Smith now is waiting in the green room for an interview with our second place getter tonight. So I'll get Bernie to bring him up shortly, and we'll have a chat to him. Good evening, Ben, and welcome to the RRTV commentary box. Congratulations on your second place position tonight. How did your race go? Benjamin?
Might be a bit starstruck at the moment, which is unlike Ben, doesn't mind a chat. He's trying to get through, but his mic's not working at the moment. No, try that again. Well, whilst he's trying to fix that, we'll just keep having a bit of a chat about that race, because the action was fantastic. The last lap was brilliant, and Jared Filster really showed a lot of experience there, as did Ben Smith. But yeah, these guys did the right thing. They were able to fight with each other in a clean way, get away from the field. This mic's still not working, Benny. Was able to clean away from the field and then start racing, and we saw that when they started fighting a bit more, we saw that the ground that was made up there in the last few minutes, and in the end, just 1 second between the top three.
Yeah, and still seems like Ben's just got his microphone muted, we've still got no sound there, but yeah, definitely those qualifying results turned out to be very similar to the end results as well for those top three, being so close together, and that's why this series is so good. Just that the fixed setup just allows the drivers to show their skills, and it's up to the best driver, not the best setup, and that gives us such close racing as we've seen in this series and many other fixed series, which is always a great way for people to get involved in iRacing, not having to worry about iRating or anything safety rating. You just get in, have a set, and have a go.
Am I on now?
You are now.
Beauty.
So we welcome back Ben, and I'll just re-ask the question, mate, since you got your microphone working. So yeah, congratulations on your second place tonight, and some great battles there with Jared all the way through the race, really, and did well to get through a lot of the traffic and everything else. So how was your race, mate?
Yeah, a bit like last week, bit of a pressure cooker throughout the whole race. Just trying to make sure that the leaders, Jared and I, had enough of a gap to have a fight at the end, which, as you saw, I left 4 seconds, and Josh was right up our clackers at the end of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd be a bit worried there. We noticed as well in the commentary box that Josh made up a fair bit of time there on you guys right near the end, and we were hoping to see 3 wide near the end. We just wanted one more lap there. That would have been an even better finish, but in the end it was a great finish with all 3 cars being within half a second of each other for the podium. So yeah, it was excellent racing, and it was good to see the draft come into effect here with such long straights, and the big parabolica seemed to be the place to be when they make the move to get a good run on the guy in front.
Yeah, definitely. With this car, as compared to the Star Mazda and the Skip Barber, the draft definitely isn't as good as before. You're probably looking at about zero point 0.6 or zero point 0.7 of a second before it starts to kick in. So I kind of lost Jared at the start, and I'd had to really work to catch up to him. And so I managed to reel him in before the pit stops, and I really wanted to do the same strategy as last week, save a bit of fuel and stay out an extra lap, but that didn't happen. Jared just pit a lap early for whatever reason that was. But yeah, just throughout the whole race, it was all keeping it tight, keeping the gap relatively close. But yeah, Jared was really quick, so he was definitely setting the pace all race, and it was me on the back foot the whole time.
Yeah, we saw near the end there a few little mistakes creeping into both cars, and you followed each other off a few times into the gravel, and some pretty scary moments there. Does it get a bit hard when you've been following a car for so long, and you just start watching the car in front and slightly lose concentration, and you follow him? If he goes off, you go off. It was follow the leader for a bit there as well.
Yeah, I hadn't really done enough practice following cars. It was all done kind of in clean air in the practice servers, so it was a bit of a learning as I went kind of experience following Jared. So yeah, there was a couple of times when we went off between the two Lesmos, and yeah, that was a bit hairy going out there because you never know what a stiffly sprung car like the little Renault can do when you're out on the sticks. But yeah, no, overall really happy. Massive thanks to MPMS Racing Simulators for coming on board with us earlier this week, and obviously our normal sponsors, Auto Loan Center, Maverick Riding, and GTI.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Excellent. Yeah, and I was going to congratulate Brenton and the team on that sponsor that we've seen on Facebook join in. So yeah, always good, and we hope to see you around next week as well for the next round, which I'm not sure where that's at. And but yeah, good result again, mate, and some solid points for the season, and we shall see